Coins, codes, and controllers. How crypto and payment tech are redefining play.
So today we're going to talk about coins, codes, and controllers, how crypto payments and the payment technology is redefining business. So I'll have my guests. Okay, we got everyone seated in the right spots. And you know what? Let's get this party started. So I'll tell you what. Theo, how about you take the lead and please introduce to our audience who you are, where do you come from, and what do you do, sir?
So I used to be a university professor in nuclear physics, and then I decided to move on full on crypto. So I found that the way to help people to not afraid about crypto and the amazing potential that they have is to help them understand it better, help them make informed decisions, and navigate the market more confidently. So we have a platform which does that, and we have over 100,000 subscribers.
Nicely done, sir. Nicely done. Yeah. Thank you for your service. And our next guest.
Hello. Hi, guys. Can you hear me? My name is Sheikh Noman, private seasoned investment banker, almost 18 years in the UAE market, and managing some business portfolios of the family offices. We announced a new project called Pegasus Capital Investments, wherein we are heavily doing the investments in the digital assets like blockchain space, Web3, AI, tokenization of electricity and real estate in Saudi Arabia and Croatia.
Awesome, thank you. Jaguar, go ahead.
Hello, I'm Jaguar-Adva. I'm CEO of Jaguar Reg&Comp, and in order not to bore everyone, I'll say that what I do is when your people go trade and make businesses in the high-risk industries, such as the ones not to be mentioned here, entertainment and crypto and AI, where regulation is not set, I cover for you guys, and we are having a law firm and a regulation advisory firm, so I make sure we're either compliant or we have an opinion that we do not need to comply in whatever activities. So that covers we all when you all have businesses in those high-risk industries.
Awesome. Thank you, Jaguar. Alex.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alex. I'm co-founder of IME. I have a PhD in economics, and 6 years ago I founded this company, and now we have created Messenger based on API of Telegram with a self-custodial crypto wallet. Regarding numbers, we have 15 million downloads, 1.5 million monthly active users. So we onboard Web2 users, convert them into Web3, and we know how to engage people into these kind of activities. Like we offer them to use crypto in Telegram chats. We offer them to use AI. AI agents are coming, so don't hesitate to ask any questions after this conference. Thank you for inviting.
Awesome. No, thank you guys. Glad you guys are here, and I'm also excited that we had some earlier conversations. So definitely there's going to be a little bit of bloodbath, but it's good to have strong opinions, but something fun and exciting. And yeah, so we're going to cover a little bit of AI and crypto and how it's going to revolutionize the way we use the internet, information, money. So I'll start with AI, and especially AI agents, because it's kind of like the hot topic, but definitely we will dive into crypto payments and how it's going to redefine the global business. So the first question I have is, how do you see AI-powered agents transforming digital transactions and decentralized finance, and what regulatory hurdles might arise? So I am looking at Jaguar because you are smiling. So I will let you start, and then my other guests will come in. So go ahead.
Great. Okay, so we've had some crypto regulations so far developing for the last, I've been in this business since 2015, which is a bit late to the game, but it's been developing and going back and forth and back and forth. We all know what Trump was doing with Gary Gensler, goodbye for that guy, and changing the whole administrative approach to regulation in regards to crypto. And that's developing and will continue to develop, as regulation always is, always late to the game of technology and not being able to fully understand before they enact new regulations, which usually has challenges relating to the new technology. And we've recently, a few years ago, have gotten to know the AI Act, the pan-European AI regulation, which adheres to what divisions of risk and what needs to be done regarding AI engines, models, agents, and applications of. But the issue that we have with the AI Act, like before with the GDPR, before it was fully enacted, and with crypto regulation ongoingly, is that it couldn't look in the eyes of technology well enough in order to be able to refer to several, I'd say, not only agents, but even models, ways to practice those models and train them over data sets, hygiene of data sets as well. And therefore, the current regulation is lacking the abilities to refer to those technologies well enough. So what do we do instead of complaining? We do the best we can with each new technological change, such as in AI, and specifically AI agents, to cope with the current regulation, while we try to train and spare education for all, including regulators. So what we do as of now, we swim among those waves, and we try to adhere to them as best as possible. And agents, as you mentioned, are merely or beautifully applications, specific focused applications of using the large models, the huge ones, or the new one when referring to DeepSeek, for example. And when agents are focused on specific industry, they should not be, or they're not as liable because it's a very general, it's like an industry-related agent. But what happens with accountability and liability, when specific agents are being used by users, companies, corporates, and the corporates could be liable and making mistakes of whatever, very many regulations, there comes the liability of the specific agent that was used for that. And there's a lot of arguments, but the realm of how liability is developed upon that, I'll stop here because it's a really exciting issue for me, and I don't want to take all the attention over here.
No, sure thing. Hey, but Alex, would you like to chime in, share your thoughts?
Yeah,
disagree?
I disagree because I suppose and I hope that all these AI agents shouldn't be regulated because it's just a piece of software, and I still hope that we will start living in a better world without all these cruel regulations, because for users we have AI agent is just a tool, it's just a piece of software, and I think the final responsibility goes to the user. So for me as a service provider, we don't touch this area, and my personal belief that it shouldn't be regulated so cruelly as we see it now.
Love it. Sheikh, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. As people who live in here, UAE, they must have been watching about the regulatory part. The WARA has been very restricted to the issue of the license. That takes 7 to 9 months to issue the license. That's why everybody do not get the license in here, particularly in DGM and WARA. Right. Why? Because they are doing a lot of due diligence and AI boots. There are a lot of scams happening. So they don't want to get screwed the reputation of the regulatory authority. That's why they are ranking one of the #1 authorities to issue the license worldwide. And giving the authority to AI boards to do the trading, it's okay to do on some extent, but not to give them a free space. Because if we give them a free space, there are a lot of things can turn around and against the human things and human brain. Particularly like in our industry, in the crypto industry, there are a lot of crazy things happening every day. I mean, today I heard one of the biggest exchange got screwed up of $1.5 billion. So these all happening because of the technological things are happening, no problem. Advancement is happening, people are learning and going out of it. Like similarly, the banking system, I'm ex-banker. I left the banking on 11 November. Until that day, we were trained how to stop the laundry, how to stop the fraudulent activities. The system, the banking is more than 100 years old. So still people are learning how to stop it. So these kind of phenomenal things are in the digital assets happening, new things. So obviously there will be some loopholes where will the bugs come in and do the crazy thing what they want to do. The crazy people are always there, but we must focus on the positivity, how to serve the humanity, to develop the more infrastructure of the business model, and bring the more independent entrepreneur from the digital assets.
Okay, no, fair points, fair points. Dr. Theo, please go ahead. I know you have a lot of insights in this area.
Yes, so I'm not going to go in depth in this question, but I'm going to tell you how I feel about that.
Sure.
So I know that regulations are good for any industry, but when you try sometimes to struggle an industry, innovators and builders are afraid to make software because they are waiting for the regulations to come. And that sometimes struggles the industry. And I was speaking with Jackie before, and I was saying that sometimes it's surprising to me to have EU, for example, built no serious AI software, large language model, let's say, LLM,
Right.
and we are the first to have the regulation. And I don't believe that EU citizens do not have the brains to build a competing software like Grok or ChatGPT or Meta LLM. It's just sometimes they need to migrate talent to countries which they are more friendly on regulations.
Okay.
They
right.
build there, and then maybe they will come back to Europe.
A good example would be Anthropic. That's a French startup that moved to San Francisco, United States.
Correct.
Right?
Because in the end, regulations are good, but sometimes you need to put a stop on it, let people build, and with them collaborate and build something which is helpful for the economy, for software, because in the end, AI agents are going to be our right hand, right? Because they are personalized. They
All right.
can remove friction. They can
Agreed.
help you, for example, execute smart contracts really fast without knowing anything because the software is behind,
Right.
and remove friction from also the crypto industry.
All right.
May I just have one answer
go ahead,
for
go
the,
ahead.
just one sentence? We all complain about regulation, and we could be all perfectly correct or not. It doesn't matter. The point is that it exists. Now, what do we do about it? Because complaining will not get us anywhere, unless you're, voting or whatever and doing something in a regulation in the
point.
government. But the point is to have tactics and ways to cope with it. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. But Dr. Theo, I do like what Mr. Alex, he had a more, I would say sort of like a libertarian free market approach, I like that. So what do you think about that? Like,
In the end, for me, the answer is in the result. When you have
Okay.
no AI company building in Europe, that means something is wrong. We are 30 countries, let's say, 27, and we have no serious competitor of the US and China. So we need to fix
Fair
that.
point. No, fair point. All right, let me go to the next question. Sheikh, I know you've been in the MENA region for many years. Working in the banking space. You work with some top investment companies. So you've seen the landscape change in terms of crypto adoption. So the question I have is, what are the key challenges preventing mainstream adoption of crypto payments, and what strategies can help overcome them?
Till there's Gary Christodoulou is there as the chairman of SCCB in the US, things will not change as per my opinion. But there's a lot mass adoption is happening in Abu Dhabi and Riyadh, particularly in the digital assets, which I've been watching myself.
Right.
Like Abu Dhabi announced last year $300 billion investments in
I'm sorry, say that again. Say it
300
slowly
billion.
and loudly, please.
$300 billion.
Easy peasy. That's how we do in the MENA, baby.
In the same Riyadh happening, right? And you can see Dubai announced last year that not only announced, they already launched in a DIFC called, AI chamber, meaning they are working on it. They are not working on it. They are developing them themselves. Obviously, there will be some loopholes. People will be learning and moving forward. The best part is moving forward, learning from the mistakes. And like I say in the last statement, that banks have been learning yet how to stop the fraudulent activities. The same thing is happening in AI and the blockchain and digital assets and crypto. A lot of things been happening around, and unfortunately, you people come to UAE market to see, wow, it's a big stuff, very fluxuous
Right.
thing, a lot of money around the GCC. Yes, it is here. They are not stupid. they know. They have money, they know how to monetize and how to utilize
Fair
it.
enough. Yeah. Totally agree. Totally agree. Being in the MENA region, but Dr. Theo and Jaguar, like, I need you guys to fight about about the
Easily.
European Union. So can we have a Mortal Kombat fight? EU. Let's go.
That's easy. Want me to start? So you can have an answer?
I think Jackie on the regulation fight is the best.
Thank you. Enough. Continue. But listen,
Yeah.
the point is this. You're correct, in the UAE, AI regulation is developing, as has been in other countries, right? Absolutely correct. So unless we can change the government or the whatever, which I would say, no, we can't, and we are players in the industry, meaning business owners, users maybe, but still, we're service providers in the industry. Now point is a strategy of what we do with each regulation change, all right? So the initial strategy was and has been and still is to see if the regulation is not convenient to whatever the company, the client is doing, then or operating, then like Anthropic, exactly, move that, and I do incorporation of startups in this area, not only in crypto and AI, and the combination of which, in various other countries in which we can either give them a legal opinion that they don't need to comply with their licenses, or they can get a license, or that the regulation for them is easy enough to do that. So that's one. But as you mentioned, it's not enough because they are incorporated in specific other countries, but regulation is dispersing to very many other countries. So running away from the appliance of those regulations is not enough. It's great for the beginning. Now we're in a phase that we need to be able to deal with, work with, unfortunately, sadly, but still work with and apply with, comply with, and overcome, in that sense, those regulation hurdles, and adopt the ones that, maybe the little ones that do make sense.
All right, Dr. Theo, would you like to fight on this?
I would like to tell one thing more, the same one taking forward. I heard the statement of Larry Lynch 2 weeks before on his interview. He was saying that when the BlackRock is saying something, that means they've done already their homework, right? They are in the market. That's why they started talking about it, to capture the more market. So he was talking about the tokenization of the green bonds, meaning the big investments they're already putting in the $500 million initially with Saudi Arabia. They partner with Masdar and the big authorities, meaning they are into the digital assets. Every tangible is going to be every tangible has an intangible valuation. On behalf of that valuation, you can monetize your assets.
All right. Alex, I think you're about to chime in.
I just wanted to add that if we're talking about regulations, we need to put some regulations into education of people, because all these problems we discuss have one root: lack of education. People don't want to get educated about boring things like blockchain and LLM models, but they need to take this responsibility finally, that only them are responsible. So everybody is responsible for tools they use, and if we put this piece of regulation into current educational system, if we obligate people to study a bit about blockchain, about LLM, about AI, it will be better. So if you have any resources in that field, please ask ask somebody to to provide this knowledge to everybody.
And regulation is only as good as the sanction.
Yeah, sure. But Dr. Theo, please go ahead.
I agree completely with Alex, because in the end, the question was basically what is stopping the adoption also of crypto payments, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And in the end, there are two things simply as that. The one is the crypto technology, the blockchain technology, has the trilemma problem: the scalability, the security, and decentralization. So when you have the two, you cannot have the scalability. Sure. So that's why we have layer 2s. That's why we have Bitcoin Lightning Network, to try to solve the scalability and help people solve that issue. Now, on the education part, the reason that is this crucial in the crypto industry is because mistakes cannot be undone, because blockchain is immutable. So when you try to make a payment to a friend or a business or whatever, and you make a mistake, no one can help you with that. So that's why it's not a problem which is reversible like a bank. A bank, you can make a mistake, they can try do some magic, and they
Sure.
can reverse some payments.
That's
But
true.
in crypto,
Yeah.
there is no way back.
Yep, it's on chain. Yeah.
And imagine that it's an industry which just worth 3 trillion, which is only one company of in the Nasdaq, for example, like Nvidia. The potential is immense, but you need to do your homework in the end.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
So just for, I know we're running out of time, so just one last question. I'll start with Alex. So we talked about education, right? So what are the biggest misconceptions about AI and crypto that needed to be addressed for wider industry adoption? So a short answer, please.
Yeah, in terms of mass adoption, all these tools you mentioned are very new. So there are a lot of mistakes, there are a lot of problems. So I think this whole ecosystem of AI will evolve, and as any new tool, it will be better. Day by day, it's improving. So just wait a bit. Of course, it will be regulated. Of course, because we live in a real world where governments just try to stop a lot of things or regulate a lot of things. They think that they do a good job, but maybe developers don't agree with them, etc. But in 1 year, in 2 years, the whole situation will be much better, and we will all live in a better world, I'm sure.
Awesome. Jaguar, last answer.
I'm enjoying this. I'm happy to totally disagree with this, respectfully though, because I think the strategy maybe should be not to wait because you lose the market, but the opposite is, I think the question is how does a startup at a company make enough, a lot of money enough, so that when trouble comes, and trouble will come, as you mentioned, in a year or two, regulation, more and more of that will apply, and you probably find that you made mistakes. And how do you strategize the company to, for example, several sub-companies or several subsidiaries or several sister or brother companies, so that when one is lost to regulation, you'll make enough money with it in order to continue your business with the newer one, which will be compliant to whatever new hurdles that will be there. So the point is how we make money quick enough and separately enough so we don't destroy the whole chain of the other companies. Sorry.
Awesome. Sheikh, please go ahead.
Well, these amazing people, they're talking rightly, but if you see because I've been dealing with a couple of regulatory authorities, governments as well. The government thinks in a different way, the way the entrepreneur thinks, because government has to maintain their reputation and credibility as well. This is one of the reasons, if you would have been watching yourself in our industry, people who come in here or any part of the world, they try to get in touch with, sign the MOUs, any contract with the regulatory authorities and post it all over their social media, just to attract the people to build their reputation. So meaning if regulatory authorities are taking time to adopt it, they're going slow like a turtle walk, which is okay, I believe, because they've got a massive responsibility. If anything goes wrong and they enter they issue the lesson to the black sheep and they screwed the market, and is going to not spoil the reputation of a particular department, but the entire country. So that is one of the reasons I believe how the diplomats think, that they take their sweet time to not to be any experimental lab for any new venture. They want to see something is up and running, operational, operative, any other part of the world, and then they are ready to adopt it to work for their governments.
Awesome. Last word.
Because the time is up, I'll be quick. So the question was what the misconceptions are on crypto. So I'll say the two biggest ones that I see from day-to-day people is that Bitcoin is expensive and people don't want to acquire it because they think altcoins are a better choice. That is one of the biggest ones. And the second one, that crypto is for speculators only. So based on my calculations, this industry will grow to 10 trillion by 2025, and by 2030 will reach 25 trillion. And there is actually a mathematical equation that describes the growth of the total crypto market cap. So instead of, now we are at 3 trillion, and by 2030 we'll be on 25. So if you want a piece of that, you need to put the work down. Do not listen to BS about Bitcoin and altcoins, and you will be fine. That's
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Like people say, when the Bitcoin is lower than $100, buy in a discount.
Awesome.
I didn't want to give any financial advice
I do
here.
not think that
but
Theo
in
was
the
giving
end-
any
but
financial
in the
advice.
end, mathematically, until now, today was the better option from all of them.
Awesome. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for this candid
Thank you.
conversation.
Thank you,
So,
Markose.
y'all be good, y'all be safe, and we will talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. We
Let's
appreciate
make
you.
a quick photo, okay?
I'll stand by and wait.